In the land of Labibi ruled a wise king and queen. King Asan and Queen Nana were so kind, loving and thoughtful with the people. During their rule, there was plenty of food, happy families and quiet. They had 4 children. Everyone in the village and the towns nearby wanted to marry their beautiful daughter, Sewa. However, Sewa was very picky. Every day, different men came to Sewa and asked to marry her, but she turned them all down. Every man who showed interest in her seemed to bother her in some way. Her parents, brothers, friends, and other people she cared about told her over and over to try to understand others better. They employed her to embrace people for who they are, flaws and all, and to use her increased understanding of them to gauge her compatibility with them. Their counsel was completely disregarded. Princess Sewa was so focused on her power, beauty and wealth that she thought she was better than all the men in the towns nearby. As always, Sewa chose a Thursday morning to visit the farm and pick some mangoes. In her society, Thursday was a holiday when the land and the people rested from its labors and to honor the spirits of their ancestors. The farms were often off limits to everyone. Still, Sewa was stubborn and chose to break the rules whenever she felt like it. Upon arriving at the farm, she waited for her attendants to harvest the recently ripe mangoes from the tree when a dashing, tall and muscular man started to approach them. The man was so good looking that Sewa and her mates were speechless. He was wearing clothes that they had never seen before, so they were sure he was from a very distant place. The man got closer. He said,
"Greetings, beautiful maidens,"
in a deep, sexy, husky voice. It was then that Sewa started to fall deeply in love with the stranger. Without hesitation, she rose to her feet and approached the man. "Hello, handsome. May I ask who you are and what brings you to this incredible land of Labibi?" she said.
"I am Prince Gorp, and I have traveled great distances to find treasure,"
the man replied.
"I am overly tired and haven't eaten in days. Could you please show me how to get into the village?"
The man had 2 bags on his back. One was full of his clothing and the other was full of gold. Sewa assured him, "You're in good hands. My name is Sewa and I'm the sole princess of this land. I will give you a treat if you follow me to the palace." As soon as they arrived at the palace, Sewa gave the order for the servants to bring him food, a place to sleep, and water for him to bath. When King Asan and Queen Nana heard the news, they were understandably alarmed and enraged. "Sewa, who is this stranger that you have brought into our home on this sacred day?" she heard the father yell in anger. "Oh, father, I love Prince Gorp." The king and queen did not like it when their daughter Sewa hung out with a stranger, but they chose to wait as their daughter had never even used the term love before. While Sewa and Prince Gorp were speaking the next morning, Gorp proposed to Princess Sewa. The moment Sewa heard the news, she consented without hesitation and rushed to tell her parents. Not a single person was pleased with the news. They advised Sewa for her to wait a little while longer and get to know Gorp. To even be sure that Sewa was safe, they asked Gorp to bring his family. But Gorp had already warned and threatened Sewa that he would depart in 2 days without her, unless they were married. Desperate as she could be, Sewa coerced her parents and forced them into approving her marriage to Gorp. After a quick wedding the next day, Princess Sewa and Gorp set off to Prince Gorp's town with her maids and guards. It was a Sunday, the 3rd morning after she had met Gorp. The king and queen were very sad when they saw their only daughter leave for a place they had never heard of. They did everything they could, but their daughter was still set on leaving, so all they could do was to wish her well. They left with lots of food, lots of cattle and hens. They traveled through a thick forest to get to Prince Gorp's village. They walked for days on end. As they traveled, Sewa saw the number of cattle, sheep, and chickens went down by a lot, day by day. They hadn't died on the way because she hadn't seen any corpse. The trip got scarier as the forest got thicker. Sewa begged Gorp several times along the way that she needed to go back because she was uncomfortable with the journey. But Gorp ignored her each time. The poor princess and her helpers didn't even know how to get back because they were lost in the forest. Soon, all the cattle were gone for unclear reasons. Following their scary trip for 3 weeks, Princess Sewa again continued to notice that the number of maids and guards began to decrease too. After a week, all of her guards and maids were also mysteriously gone, leaving her with just one guard. She was scared to death and begged Prince Gob to let her go home. Gob still didn't pay attention to her. The only guard she had left to disappeared by the next night. At this time, Princess was extremely frightened. At midnight, while they rested for the night, Prince Gob aggressively walked towards Princess Sewa. And when she saw Prince Gob, she got even more frightened. He grabbed her with his mouth so wide open and yelled,
"I'm hungry and you are my next and last meal."
The princess, with a trembling voice, replied, "Oh, so it was you all this time. You're the reason why all the animals and stuff appear to have disappeared."
"Yes, it was me," Gob said. "Oh my goodness, I ate them all and they were so tasty. Now you'll fill my stomach the same way."
Before Princess Sewa could say a thing,
Gob sucked it up in his huge open mouth.
he let out a big belch, wrapped his stomach, and started to think of a new way to get another target. The way Princess Sewa's life ended is really tragic. In her lovely town of Labibi, she had all the chance to live a great life. Still, her pride and stubbornness got her caught in the trap of a bad man. We should all make an effort to be humble enough and appreciate other people's advice. Let's not rush into life-changing decisions and instead learn to accept individuals for who they are. If you enjoyed this lovely African folktale, please don't forget to hit the subscription button. Subscribe. I have more exciting stories to share. Also, like the story and leave a message about what it taught you. Have you observed other people act like that in real life? Do you have similar experiences? Share in the comments below. Until next time, ta-da!